Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We are trading is made easy with high level of clarity. Today is Wednesday. So on Wednesdays we do top analysis and give you buyers on what to expect in the market. And today I have few pairs that will be running top analysis. Today we'll be also be covering NAS100, and today I will be giving you entry model that can make you very profitable in the market. One of the simplest entry model. So stay with us to the end of this video, because at the end of this video, you will learn a lot to maximize your chance of winning in forex market. Today we are starting with GBPUSD. Let's start from daily time frame to see what is currently happening in the market. Now, as you can see, when you zoom out, you discover that this market is in bullish movement. And how do we identify that? As you can see, this low market took it as a liquidity. After that, it gave us this beautiful break of structure. And this break of structure happened after the sweep of liquidity. And you know that any break of structure that happens after break of sweep of liquidity is always very strong in the market. And what are we seeing? If today is your first time of being on this channel, I want you to take note of this. Whenever a high is created without that high sweeping any liquidity, definitely market will come and take it out before continuation coming to other block of fair value gap before continuation to the upside. And when you look at it, that is what just happened. Whenever you are trading, right, and the market is creating series of higher highs and higher lows, and all of a sudden it created a low, and that low went and created a high without sweeping liquidity, you know that this is a fake what breakout. This is how we identify a fake breakout. Any breakout that didn't sweep liquidity before the breakout. Once you see a fake breakout, what would the market do? The market will come back, take it out, come into fair value gap or other block before continuation today upside. So I want you to know that, and when you look at it, this is what exactly happened at this particular place. When you look at it right now, before this break of structure that we are seeing at this particular place, right? What did the market do? The market created this low. After this break of structure, this low created high without sweeping any liquidity. What happened? As we can see, the market came in to take out all the internal liquidity before now much continuation to the upside. So let's delete all these things for our chart to be more clear, to go little deeper to what is currently happening on GBPUSD. Now, on GBPUSD right now, by the way, I spoke about GBPUSD when the market was here, explain all the reasons why we should be expecting this move to the upside, and I spoke about GBPUSD when it was here, explain all the reasons why we should be expecting all this move to the downside. Why? Because whenever you see equal lows or equal highs, right, it serves as a magnet for the market to come and clear before moving to the actual direction. Why? When you look at this, you will discover that whenever we have equal lows like this, so many people who open their trade, put their stop loss just below here. What did markets do? Markets came back, taking all of them out before this continuation to the upside. The same thing applicable when you have equal high. What will happen, because the market makers knows that people, their stop loss are above here. What will the market do? Market will come to trigger all those stop loss, use them as a fuel to continue to the right direction. That was exactly what happened on GBP USD. So having said that, let's proceed. Now, currently, what are we going to do, or what do we have right now? Since the buy side liquidity has been taken and sell side liquidity is also taken, so what are we expecting? We're expecting this market to continue moving to the upside. So we are now going to focus here to identify what we are going to do next. So right now, let's zoom out. Now, when we zoom out right now, we can see that this market is now currently creating series of higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. So since the market is already creating higher highs and higher low, what do? We start looking for more continuation to the upside. But before we drop down to lower time frame, I want you to see something. Now, the market right now created a resistance level, right? Then when a resistance is broken, what do you expect? You expect it to turn to a support level, and that is exactly what the market has done. As you can see, this market served as a resistance for some for some days, and finally market broke it to the upside. Now it has tested it and continued moving to the upside. Now, looking at it right now, what do we have? Let's quickly delete this. Now, as you can see, the market now has a gap that needs to be closed. Depending where this current candle is going to close, right? But inside this gap that we are seeing, what are we seeing? We are seeing now a very good order block. Now, that order block is also tallying with our resistance turn to support. So, having said that, let's move to the lower time frame. Now, on 4 hours right now, what are we seeing? Now, 4 hours has already given us everything we need to see. Why? Because you can see how this low broke this market to the upside. After that, it created, during that break, it created these what? Lows. And remember what I just said a few minutes ago, whenever a low creates high without that high low sweeping liquidity, market always come to take it out. As you can see, this low created this particular place, did not sweep any liquidity. What happened? Later, market came taking everything out, including the one that we have here, right? Market swept all of them out before more continuation to the upside. Right now, this is a very strong low that we have. As you can see, it created double bottom and equal low before continuation to this upside. So we should also be expecting so many bullish movement because this low swept liquidity before this break of structure. So in our term, this is a valid break of structure, not just a fake breakout. So let's proceed. Since we have this right now, what are we expecting? We are expecting more continuation to the upside. And I want you to watch closely what we have here. Remember, this is the daily order block that we have. But before we start refining, I want you to notice something. Let's go to 1 hour now. On 1 hour, we can see how this market gave us this inversion of trend. Remember, this market was creating series of lower lows and lower highs to now creating what? Higher highs. And what do we expect now? We expect higher low before more continuation to the upside. But before that, look at what happened, right? After this break of structure, this market created a low, right? This particular low here. Then this low did not sweep any liquidity before creating this high that didn't close above the previous high. Rather, it just swept the buy side liquidity. What happened? The market came back, taking out this low, and right now we have a very valid break of structure. So this is now a valid break of structure. This was what we call fake breakout. So this is how you identify fake breakouts whenever the low or high did not sweep liquidity before breaking the structure. So now we have a valid break of structure and it has given us a higher high. Now let me quickly say this, and I've said this a couple of times for people on my mentorship program. Whenever you see the market create a new high, please don't trade any other thing, no matter whatever it is given to you. Wait for retracement or retest of structure before you start looking for more continuation to the upside. So in this situation, what are we expecting? Now remember, the market had already created a higher high. So after each higher high, we expect a higher low before and we start looking for another entry. So having said this, now let's go back to our daily. There's something I just want to show us there. Now I covered GBPUSD when it was here, explaining all the reasons why we should be expecting the market to come to this daily order block. And currently, the market is reacting from this daily order block. So I am expecting some reactions that will push the market to this order block before we start seeing more continuation today upside. So for currently, I am not looking for any buy continuation. Rather, I am looking for that reaction that will push the market to the lower side before I start looking for anything more buy to the upside, which is going to give us that low, higher low. So having known this right now, let's go to 4 hours. Now on 4 hours right now, we start looking, where can we be looking for that point of interest? Now, let's delete this. In this movement right now, as you can see, the market has a couple of gaps left to be covered. And whenever you see any value, any fair value gap in the market, just know that the market will always come back to cover it. Now we have about 3 gaps left to be covered. So let's go to lower time frame to see where we can actually see that good point of interest. Now, as we can see right now, in this particular place, we don't have, okay, let's check 13 minutes. In this particular place, we don't have any valid order block, so this one is eradicated. Here, we can now see that we have a very good order block at this particular place with a very good fair value gap. And if you have been on this channel for some time, whenever we see order block with fair value gap, it makes that order block very strong. So in this situation right now, we know that this order block is strong. So we are going to be looking for that opportunity at this particular place. Then the second one that we'll be looking for right now, the second point of interest is going to be at this particular place, right? Remember, this is where we identify that point of interest on for 1 hour rather. But right now we can see that we have another order block at this particular place, right? And that order block right now also have a good fair value gap, as you can see, right? So these are the places that I will be looking for that opportunity. My first entry on GBPUSD is going to be at this particular place, right? This is my first entry. Remember, trading is reactive and not predictive. Always wait for that change of trend. My first take profits, 3-to-1 risk reward. Then you can now target the buy side, depending where this market is going to reverse from. Then my second entry is going to be at this particular level. Now, when you are now taking this particular level, right, you are going to be looking for that reversal just at this particular place. Your stop loss is going to come below here. That is why you don't need to start trading or opening any position aggressively here. Wait for that change of trend within this particular zone. Why? Because when we expand this, we discover that all these zones happen to be resistance that is likely to turn towards support. And coupled with what we have here, as you can see, we have double bottom here, and the double bottom has already broken the neckline. What are you expecting? You are expecting the neckline to be what? Tested. So if this market did not continue moving to the upside at this particular place, then I will be looking for that opportunity at this particular place. So let's quickly delete this and leave the order like this. So here will be my stop loss. Why? Because of what? This is below this particular level of what? Support that is going to turn to resistance that is going to turn to support now. So the first one, I'll be looking for that opportunity at this particular place, coupled with what we are seeing on daily, because this is a very good order block on daily, which is going to where we have 70 to 90% guarantee that is going to push the market to the downside to create that higher low before more continuation today upside. So on GBPUSD, this is the first setup that I have. Now let's quickly go to gold. I have a very good setup on gold. Now on gold, what do we expect? Now on gold, on Sunday, I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting the first entry at this particular place. Congratulations to some of us that made the entry at this particular place. I believe you are already in profit. And secondly, I explained all the reasons why we should also be looking for more opportunity at this particular place because of what? The order block that we are seeing at this particular place. I explained all the reasons why we should be considering everything down here as our zone. That's why I always say this: don't be aggressive. Always look for that change of trend. Now, when we look at this, I explained all the reasons why we should consider this to be our strong low. Why? Because this low swept this liquidity, because after this break of structure, we did not see any sweep of liquidity here. The market came down, taking out this low and use it as a sweep of liquidity, turning this to be our very strong low. And what do we have? We saw a market coming down to sweep out all the internal liquidity that was created before these reactions that we are seeing at the upside of the market. So let's delete all this. Congratulations to some of our viewers that utilize this opportunity. Now, what do we currently have now? Let's delete everything. Let's go to daily. Now, on daily, yes, the market is behaving and reacting based on everything that we analyze. As you can see how this market came to fill this particular daily order block, which is what we are also expecting to happen on GBPUSD, to come and fill this order block, just as it happened here on gold, right? Now, currently, right now, it has already filled this order block on daily, and we are now expecting more continuation to the upside. By the way, I spoke about gold when it was here, explain all the reasons why we should be expecting more continuation to the upside when gold tapped inside this daily order block. I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting more continuation to the upside. I spoke about gold when it broke this resistance level, now here turned to support. I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting more continuation to the upside. Gold has been reacting based on our analysis, and currently we can now say that the buy side liquidity is already taken. So having seen all this, let's move down to 4 hours. Now on 4 hours, we can now see that this market is still creating series of higher highs and higher lows, and currently the market had already given us what? A higher low after this break of structure. So in this situation, what are we expecting? Now we are expecting more continuation to the upside. Why? Because of what? This liquidity has already been taken, and the market right now has changed trend from creating series of lower lows and lower highs to now creating what? Higher highs and higher lows. Why? Because when we go to 30 minutes, we can see that this market actually swept liquidity before we started seeing this break of structure to the upside. You can see this market right now, we had a very good break of structure at this particular place. Which high broke that structure? It happened to be this, right? Then what happened? Market came back, swept the liquidity, created another break of structure to the downside, right? Now, what we never wanted to see is market going above this, but guess what? Market has closed above, not only going above it, but it has closed beautifully above it. So this has shown us that the market has changed trend from creating lower lows and lower highs to now creating higher highs and higher lows. So what are we going to do? We are going to now continue looking for more continuation to the upside. Now that we already have a higher high, what are we expecting? We're expecting the market to create a good higher low before we start moving to the upside. Now, currently, this happened to be our very strong low. So let's delete this. This happened to be our strong low that we don't want to see markets go below. So in this situation right now, what are we expecting? Now, when you look very well, you will discover that this market has this gap here. And let's identify another one. We have a good gap here also, right? So we could be seeing this market coming back to this particular place to fill this. Okay, let's see this. Okay, the market did not fill that gap very well. So let's see. Okay, they didn't fill it. So we could be seeing the market coming to fill this particular order gap, right? And this particular one. So having seen this, let's go to 30 minutes to see what the market is currently doing. Now, okay, let's go to 5 minutes. I'm seeing something. Now, as you can see, this market is gradually now changing trend from creating higher highs and higher lows to now creating lower lows and lower high. Despite we have equal high that the market is likely going to come to attack, but so far this market is still creating lower lows and lower high. We are going to now wait to see when the market will change trend to creating what? Higher highs and higher low. And coming to 5 minutes right now, as you can see, everything is properly now defined. As you can see, we have that odd gap here, and this happened to be a very good order block. So in this particular place, this is the first place that I'm looking for opportunity, and this happened to be what? The second place that I am looking for that opportunity. So let's go back to 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to refine it to be like this. So this is the first place that I'll be looking for that opportunity, right? Okay. Now, I'll be looking for that opportunity. Remember, trading is reactive and not predictive. Always wait for that change of trend before you start making your entry. Always wait for change of trend. Once market comes inside this zone, you wait for that change of trend. So I'll be targeting, first of all, 3-to-1 risk reward. Then next one, I'll be targeting this high. But if the market continues moving to the upside, you still have nothing to be afraid of. On Sunday, we still be covering what we still be covering it and telling you what to do. Then this is my first entry here. Then my second entry is going to come at this particular what place. This is it. This is my second entry. My first take profits. 3-to-1 risk reward. Second one, I will also be targeting this what? External high. And if the market decide to go below this, you still don't have anything to worry about. On Sunday, we still cover it. But if the market goes below this, then you know that we start looking for more continuation to the downside, which I doubt if the market is actually going to do based on what we are already seeing on technical aspect and the behavior of the market. So on gold, these are the two entries that I have. Please let me say this: don't be aggressive trader. Always wait for that change of trend before you start what? Entering. Now I have a very good setup again on Euro USD before we go to NAS100. On Euro USD, let's go to daily to see. Okay, we are going to clear everything here. On Euro USD, as you can see, we have a market that is moving today upside. As you can see, if you're on this channel for the first time, right, we covered all this move you are seeing on Euro USD. I recommend you go through my previous video. You are going to learn a lot, and it will kind of clarify your doubt that you are at the right place. By the way, if you have not subscribed, subscribe, like, share, and comment, because your subscription, your like, your share, and comment motivates us to make more quality educational video like this. And turn on the notification button so that you don't miss any updates from us. So this market right now, as you can see, this low created this high, and this high now created this low. This low created another new high without sweeping any liquidity, giving us this false what? Breakout, which we are going to identify. Now, what did market do? Market came down, taking out this liquidity, right, before break off structure, giving us this valid break off structure. Now, this is it. Let's identify it as break of structure. And remember what I just said a few minutes ago. Whenever a break of structure happens, the market always comes back to take out all the internal liquidity before continuation to the upside. And that's exactly what the market did. It took out all the internal liquidity, reacting from this fair value gap that we are seeing, and now it has continued moving to the upside. So in this situation right now, what do we have? As we can see right now, we have a market that is now creating series of lower lows, higher highs and higher lows. So let's quickly go to 4 hours. But before we get to 4 hours, I want you to look at something. As you can see, Euro USD is covering every gap left apart from this gap that we are currently seeing here, you know that EURUSD, it works in correlation with GBPUSD, so they have similar structure. Now, as you can see right now, EURUSD is covering every gap and filling every other block except from two. Now, we are not going to just ignore it, and we are going to identify it very well. As you can see, EURUSD did not fill this gap very well. So we have a gap here. And when you look at it also, it failed to close this gap. So we are not going to neglect these two gaps. So let's go to 1 hour to see what is currently happening there. Now, when you look at this gap, you will now see that we have a very good order block at that particular place. So we are not going to neglect this particular place because market might decide to come down to fill, to take out all these internal structures to come and fill this gap here. So we are going to take note of this particular place. This one. Secondly, this is another gap left. And as you can see, we don't have any fair value gap there, and we don't have a very good order block there. Let's check 30 minutes. No good order block. Let's see 15 minutes. No good order block. So we could, okay, we have a very, very good order block there. As you can see, let me zoom it so that we see it. As you can see, we have a good order block there now with that small fair value gap here. Look at that fair value gap there. Look at that small fair value gap there. Are you seeing it? So we cannot neglect this here. So let's adjust it. So at this particular place, let's go back to 1 hour. At this particular place also, we have that gap. So this is 1, this is 2. The market might decide to come down to take out all the internal structure before continuation today upside. So let's delete this. Now, what else do we have here? We can see that we have another gap here, right? And this gap we have here, and we're expecting market to come and close it, considering this low that swept this internal what? Liquidity. So we're expecting the market to return to this particular place before more continuation today upside. Why? Now we are going to treat all this as one, because we have that other block here, right? Because it has fair value gap, as you can see. So in this situation right now, we are going to be treating all of them as one. Remember, we have this gap here that we are expecting the market to cover, and this is our very strong low currently. And this strong low, we are not expecting market to go below it, but market might decide to go below it to come and fill these orders depending on what the market is giving to us. And we have much liquidity now resting below these lows, so market might decide to come and take everything out before continuation. So we don't know what the market is going to do from tomorrow and next, but in case the market starts coming to this particular place, we just know that the market is going to react and return from here. Remember, trading is reactive and not predictive. Always wait for change of trend or change of character before taking any trade. So in that situation right now, and coupled with what we are having on daily, as you can see, this market right now had already created a new what? High. As you can see, it has created a high here and also a high here. So this market is really gonna rest before continuation today upside. So this is giving us more confluence why this market is likely to come down to cover some gaps before continuation today upside. So in this situation, I'll be looking for entry first at this particular place, right? Then remember, don't be greedy in the market. 3 to 1 risk reward is more than okay for you. That 3 to 1 risk reward is going to come to this high. That's my first entry. Then my second entry, I'll be looking for that second entry at this particular what place. My first take profits is 3 to 1 risk reward just at this particular place. Then second, I'll be targeting this buy side liquidity. And if the market decides to go below all this, then I'll be looking for that entry just at this particular what place. my first take profits, 3 to 1 risk rewards, then I can start targeting this particular place. So on EURUSD, these are the setups that I am looking for. Remember, trading is reactive and not predictive. So it depends on what your entry model, you can actually maximize your chance of winning. Now, lastly, I have on NASDAQ. Now let's go to daily and see what NASDAQ is doing. NAS100. Okay, let's delete this. As you can see, we have a market that came down to test a strong level of resistance turn to support. And the market is currently now reacting from that place today upside. And when you look at it, you will discover that this area of resistance market had already what? Broken it, and it has turned to support. So having this in mind, let's drop down to 4 hours. Now, on 4 hours, we can see how this market changed from creating series of lower lows and lower highs to now creating higher highs and higher low. And whenever we have inversion of trend like this, what do? You start looking for more opportunity to the upside. Now, let's delete this and zoom out very well. And as you can see, this market has this 4-hour order block. The market is yet to fill, but the market had already filled this particular order block here and continue moving to the upside. But during this buy, okay, let's see, 1 hour. Okay, everything is kind of being defined now. Now, during this move right now did not sweep any liquidity, right? Okay, let's see. After this break of structure, okay, this low, okay, this is now a very good sweep of liquidity here. So we are not expecting the market right now to go to the downside. Okay, this is a very good low. Okay, now as you can see right now, we have a very good order block at this particular place. And currently the market is reacting to the upside. And when you look at it right now, we can still see that gap left at this particular place. So in NAS100 right now, because of the behavior of NAS100, we are now expecting more continuation of the market from here. I am not expecting the market to come to this downside because of some behaviors that we already seen here. This low already swept liquidity, so we are now looking for more continuation to the upside. So we are going to focus on everything happening at this particular place, considering this low that we are already seeing, right? Now, this low is the one that we are now expecting the market to use as liquidity. Why? Now, when we go to 30 minutes, you can see that this low right now created a high without sweeping any liquidity. Look at that high. It has already taken out our buy side liquidity, as you can see it, but none of the market has closed just above it. Rather, all of them are reacting just there and still closing below, as you can see. Now, in this situation now, what are we expecting? Since this low did not sweep any liquidity, we're expecting the market to come back to take out this low before we start seeing more continuation to the upside. So what are we expecting? Now, when we refine more, you will discover that that order block is just at this particular place. So in this situation, I'll be looking for my entry just at this particular place on NAS100. My take profit, first of all, 3-to-1 risk reward. Then I can be targeting this buy side what? Liquidity. So on NAS100, this is what I'm expecting. And if the market decides to come to the downside, you still don't have anything to worry about. But if this market close below here, just know that this market will be coming to the downside because of what? On 1 hour, we don't have any other good order block here. There's no good order block here. The only place that we have order block is just in this particular what? Zone. So if this market close below here, just you can look for more opportunity to the downside. And when it enters this zone, you can be looking for that more opportunity to the upside because on daily, we can see that NAS100 is moving to the upside. So Having said this, let's move to the downside. So in this situation right now, remember I said earlier that I have a very good entry model for us. So what do we expect? How do we kind of approach the market, or which entry model is more easier and self-explanatory? Now, let me quickly say this, right? If you are looking for any good entry model that you want to be using, now, when the market is creating series of lower lows and lower highs, and you are looking for buy opportunity, you should be expecting something like this: market going above the previous high, right? Taking it as a liquidity, then come back, take out this low, then go back again, take out this high, right? Immediately the market takes out this high, on retest of structure, or coming to other block of fair value gap or 50% Fibonacci level, you can take that trade and put your stop loss just below this structure. This entry model is one of the simplest but most profitable entry model that you can talk about in the forex market. Now let's quickly look at even this particular one. Let's go to gold to see what's happened. So before we go to gold, this is my view on NAS100. This is what I'm expecting to happen. So let's quickly go back to gold, let's use EURUSD. Now, as you can see right now, we can say that, or let's use gold for this. Now, let's quickly delete everything that we have already done here, or let's use another gold pair. Okay. Now, as you can see right now, we have this, right? We have this on gold. Now, as you can see what's happened at this particular place, let's go to 15 minutes. You can see that we had that particular market that is, okay. Let's use what is currently happening at this particular place. Now, remember, after this, we were expecting to continue buying to the upside, right? As you can see right now, we had a market that was creating series of lower lows and lower high, but something happened at this particular place. This market created this. Okay, where are we gonna start? Okay, just a minute. Okay, let's use this. This market created this low. Let's use this one that had already played out. This market created this break of structure here, right? This break of structure, and this break of structure, look at the high that created it. After that, this high was created, right? Look at it. That's the kind of the analogy that I just gave now. When the market is creating series of lower lows and lower high, we want to see a high going previous the last low, going below the low, and once market goes above that high that swept liquidity, wait for 50% discount level, or you wait for market to return to other block, you take it. That's exactly what happened at this particular place, as you can see. Now, when you look at it right now, this high had already taken out the last low. As you can see, now still broke this particular structure, right? Now, what we never wanted to see is market going above this, because once market goes above this, this is now what we call change of character, right? Now, this change of character that we are seeing right now is now going to push the market to the upside. So right now, we are now waiting for market to return to fair value gap or other block before we start moving the market to the upside, or at least for the market to return to 50% discount level of Fibonacci retracement tool, which is going to come to this particular place, or we'll start looking for 0.6, which tallies with our other block that we have here to take market to the upside. Once you go to your market, to your charts, in on all time frame, you will see this happening often. Even on 5 minutes, you can see that here on 5 minutes. Now let's look at the one that we have at this particular place, right? Okay. Now let's look at this. as you can see, okay, now we had this creating this low, and this one creating this low here. And what we never wanted to see is the market, right, creating a high. Then we don't want to see markets going above this particular high. And what happened? Market went above it. So if you had taken this particular trade from this particular place, when you look now, that 50% Fibonacci level happened at this particular place, 50 and 60. Even though you had taken this particular trade, you must have closed it in very big profit because this market returned to this other block, as you can see, to this other block before continuation, or even you can use this 50% discount level order block to even identify your trade, which if you had taken this particular trade from here, definitely you should be in a very big profit, or you must have hit your 3-to-1 risk reward, as you can see now. So always look for this pattern. It works like magic on all time frame. Wait for a high to sweep liquidity of the last high, then let it break a structure to the downside. Once you break a structure, if the market price goes above it, wait for this scan level, you continue taking it to the upside. The same thing applicable to what? Sell side. So on Euro USD, this is what the entries that I have and my point of interest, right? On GBP USD, these are what the entries that I have and my point of interest. On gold, this is also what the entries that I have and my point of interest. And on NAS100, this is what the entry that I'm looking for. I'm wishing all of us successful trading in days ahead. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, turn on the notification button, share, comment, and like. Have a wonderful day, guys.